Steve Reynolds already in the cockpit of the Cellular One, heading out for a date with Ron Snyder and Chip Hanauer in the Miller American. Beautiful new boat with that huge air intake above that Lycoming turbine engine. Ron Snyder heading out in the U6, the Holson Miss Madison. Let's get a word from Jim Lucero. Jim, is your day progressing like you'd hoped?
Yeah, we're fairly pleased so far. We haven't had any major problems, and what we're trying to do, since we have so little time on the boat, is get Steve a fair amount of actual racing experience. We didn't get much down in Miami. We're trying to learn a little bit each heat and be better prepared for the final.
Jim Lucero's driver will get a good workout here in 2B as the Cellular One goes against Miller American, Holson Miss Madison, and Thor Racing. As we go now, the boat's setting up, the top four around the turn. Here's the Miller American swinging outside, either that or the Cellular One cutting in, but Steve Reynolds got a bit of the Miller American rooster tail. He is way back at the start. Look who's right on the button again. Ron Snyder, Chip Hanauer at the start of E2B. There goes Reynolds in the Cellular One. Thor Racing is back. Now the race into the first turn. Snyder in great position in lane number one. The Miller American, though, with better boat speed in lane two and taking a slight lead as they go down the back straightaway. Chip Hanauer in the brand new Miller American in first place. Holson Miss Madison second. Cellular One and Steve Reynolds starting to close in third. He's a rooster tail, at least a rooster tail back. Look at Snyder moving up on the inside in the Holson Miss Madison, trying to hold on to lane number one, going against the quicker turbine as he goes around the turn. Look out, he couldn't hold on to his lane and gets washed down by the Miller rooster tail. He falls back, but somehow he keeps the engine going. Falling into third place, Snyder in the Holson Miss Madison, but he's still going. Second place now the Cellular One. In first place, that boat, Chip Hanauer and the Miller American after lap number one. Miller in first, a speed of 117 miles per hour. An average speed. Steve Woomer on the left, the owner of the Cellular One, as they go down the main straightaway. He brought on Jim Lucero to head up his team to build him a boat to make him more competitive. And now they're having a chance to see what they can do against a legitimate champion in Chip Hanauer and the Miller American. The Cellular One is closing the gap. Reynolds holding on to the outside. In third place, Snyder out of the state of Ohio. Hardy's now an associate sponsor for the Holson Miss Madison. Now look at the Cellular One challenging on the outside. Miller in lane number one. Third place still Snyder as he goes into the turn. Now it's a matchup between the two brand new turbines. Cellular One on the outside. Reynolds, Hanauer in the Miller American on the inside, hitting speeds of better than 180, 185. Look how light the Cellular One is getting. They've still got to trim this boat. Remember, it's right out of the box. They have not had a chance to trim it like they want to. They like the power, but it's still a little too light, and you saw why right there. Miller with a half a boat length lead. Hanauer trying to push Reynolds to the outside. Look how close they are side by side. Cellular One now with a slight lead, completing lap number two. Reynolds speed up to 124 miles per hour after going 117 in lap number one. Lucero and Walters, the brain trust of the Cellular One team, watching on as their driver, Steve Reynolds, trying to become one of the major threats now in unlimited hydroplane racing into the first turn here on lap number three. He has second place. Check that. First place, second place, the Miller. Third place to Ron Snyder and the Holson Miss Madison. And now the Cellular One beginning to stretch it out. Better than a rooster tail lead over the Miller. Steve Reynolds, he knows he doesn't have the experience to match a Chip Hanauer or a Jim Crompfeld at competing at those ultra-high speeds. As a result, Jim Lucero has sent him to school. He has studied all winter. He has gone to the Jim Russell Auto Racing School down in Laguna Seca, much like Chip Hanauer, who went to the Bob Bondurant School down in the Bay Area as well. But these drivers are trying to become better by taking lessons in the off-season in auto racing. Ron Snyder, the senior member of this driver fraternity for the unlimited hydroplane racing circuit in the Holson Miss Madison in third place. Again, the slight dogleg. You see the boat jump like that to the left. That's because Steve says this boat is so responsive, you barely tug at that steering wheel and it moves that quickly. It is so responsive, he simply has to get used to it. Miller American now in second place. Steve Reynolds in first place with the Cellular One. Again into the second turn now. A beautiful shot from our camera up on the shore, showing you that huge scoop that not only brings in air, but separates water from the air to come in for that Lycoming 7 engine. The checkered flag waiting for Steve Reynolds in his first heat victory of 1987. Cellular One, first place on a come-up from behind victory over the Miller American, second to Chip Hanauer, 300 points. Steve Woomer getting his first heat victory of the year as an owner and with his new sponsor, Cellular One. The numbers, 700 points for the day now for both the Cellular One and the Miller American. Holson, Miss Madison, and Snyder coming in third place, followed by Thor Racing. Jerry Hopp with 469 for the day.
Steve Reynolds, I don't know what happened at the start of that heat just before you started, but you got your licks in and went on to win.
Well, it kind of looks like we're going to have to play this game pretty tough. I mean, the Miller American and the Cellular One just about bumped there. I don't know whether he had room to get in there or not. If the referees did make a call, then he obviously had room to get in. Yeah, questionable judgment. That's okay. I'm here to play the game the same way.
When did you decide to really go after him?
About 2 minutes before the start.
Okay, good angle. Thank you, Steve. Don?